Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Well, I've been very fortunate enough to know some amazing women, and this includes Dr. Linnda Durre. She is a nationally recognized psychotherapist for you Arch Linux users. I'm just kidding, just kidding. She is a licensed psychotherapist, nationally recognized, that's the truth, author, and a filmmaker. So, for part three of this three-part series of interviews with Dr. Linnda Durre, we talk about how she was able to produce a short film for about $4,000. Not $40,000, $4,000. We'll talk a little bit into the art of filmmaking and being resourceful, and we'll finally talk about my dad's film, The Cross and the Star. And she's hoping to somehow find a distributor for my dad's film. I know some of you have been asking about my dad's film. My dad's doing okay. The film is still available for distribution, and it is all I can tell you guys. Hollywood is a tough nut to crack. It can be done, but we had everything going our way. Then the pandemic hit, and we found ourselves starting over. And it's exhausting. That's all that I can say. But we're not giving up because I believe my dad's film is worth seeing. That being said, this is part three with Dr. Linnda Durre, filmmaking with a psychotherapist. Hope you enjoy. Take care. Ciao. Let's go into the final part of this interview here. Let's go into more of the fun stuff. Lighten things up. All right, Hollywood filmmaking. You've also are a filmmaker. Can you tell us about that unique project you did for like $4,000? Is this for
Yes,
real?
yes, yes,
That
yes.
doesn't even pay lunch for the cast and crew nowadays. But I'm going to mute my mic. This is a rather lengthy story, but it's worth it. Tell us how that happened.
Okay, I was teaching at Rollins College. I was teaching developmental psychology in a course I taught that I originated and created called Life Transitions. And there was an announcement that Edward Albee was coming to Rollins to do a master class in playwriting. Well, I wrote some TV series and plays and things, and I had sold a television series to Aaron Spelling when I was 22, was admitted to the Writers Guild of America. I've been acting since I was in grade school, been on the stage and in film, or stage and film in New York, Orlando, LA. And so I thought, wow, this is great. So the rule was you had to submit an original script. So I sat down and wrote a play, a short play. Well, it wasn't short. The movie was a short film, but the play was long. And submitted it. He liked it. I got accepted and went to the master class. And of course, he is one of the most incredible playwrights ever in the history of the planet. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Delicate Balance, Tiny Alice, Three Tall Women. We could go on and on. Zoo Story, etc. So a friend of mine read it. He thought it was great. He said, "You should make this into a film." And I said, "You got the money, I've got the time." And he was very supportive. And so we asked around. I had two friends to temporarily advance the funds. They became the executive producers. One was $1,500, one was $2,500, so that totaled $4,000. The biggest expense was the insurance, which was $2,500. So I got a good friend of mine who supervised interns. He was head of cinematography to come and be the DP, director of cinematography, DP. And he brought his interns. I had an appointment with the head of Darden, who had Smoky Bones, Olive Garden, also Red Lobster. So we had two full meals because we shot it in 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. We started at 6 a.m., finished at 11 p.m., 2 days. So they did lasagna and all the fixings for one day, pulled pork, barbecue chicken, the whole whatever, for the second day. And then I went to the guy who owned Denny's in Winter Park, and he did 2 days of Grand Slam breakfasts. So that was scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, hash browns, butter, muffins, rolls, the whole 9 yards. Another friend of mine was a manager at a Publix. And remember that these are donations. So they don't have to, they get a tax deduction when they donate to credible services. So you have to prove that this is a credible service. And it helps if you have a 501c3 registered as a charity. So they supplied all the sodas, bottled water, everything, coffee, tea, the whole 9 yards. That was wonderful. And also the sandwich wheels for snacks. So we had little breaks for snacks. So all the food was taken care of. The equipment was taken care of. The labor was taken care of. Everybody volunteered their time. So we had a hairdresser, one of my friends who's a very successful wardrobe supervisor. She helped with all of the clothing. It was magic. The only thing that we needed to get was a funeral parlor, because it was set in a funeral parlor. It was called The Viewing, and it was about when a estranged mother and daughter come together over the father's funeral. So a friend of mine recommended Baldwin Fairchild Funeral Homes.
Yes.
And all they cared about was the insurance. And they said, if we have funerals, you're going to have to, not do any filming. And as it turned out, the weekend that we did this, there were no funerals or.
Oh, okay.
So it was just perfect. Everything fell.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Yeah, yeah.
Everything.
Nice. Yeah.
Everything. So the gal who played the mother was the performance coach at Universal Studios. And the woman who played the daughter was an excellent actress. Her son happened to be John Richardson, who wrote Nonstop with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I saw that. Yes. On the train or something, on a train being.
Yeah, it was on a plane.
Sorry, a plane. That's right.
And it was just a great shoot. A kid came up to me on the shoot and said, I've never been on a film set before where there was so much food and good food.
Was he Italian?
Hey, I'm half Italian.
Hey. Right. Oh, that's funny.
Another kid came up and said, I've never been on a film shoot before where there was no yelling and screaming.
Oh my God.
I surround myself with people who know what they're doing, who are friends of mine, and they bring people who are qualified. Why should I yell and scream?
See, it's nice to have a psychotherapist on the set. All right, everybody shut up. I'm going to kick your butt. No, just kidding. Go ahead. Okay,
so
that's amazing.
Had a time. The film won like 2 awards.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Best short script from the Florida Motion Picture and Television Association. Sarah Van Phillips, the daughter, won for Best Supporting Actress. Got into 3 film festivals: the Best of Florida Film Festival,
nice,
Hayden Florida Film Festival, Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival, and Delray Beach.
Awesome. So that's an incredible story. Well. All right, let's go into the final segment. I invited you up here to look at my dad's film, La Croce e la Stella, The Cross and the Star. Tell us about it.
Well, I saw it twice. I think it's wonderful. I am so impressed. You said you needed a distributor, so I am doing everything I can with my contacts in LA, in New York, all over the planet to find a distributor. It is a true story about a concentration camp in Italy called Ferramonte that was run by Italian Nazis, and no one was killed. There were 4 deaths, I believe, that were natural causes, old age, etc. But there were no gas ovens there. There was no beating, starvation, nothing like that. And at the end of the war, needless to say, the Germans had to leave. And all the people who were in the concentration camp were freed. And many of them made their way to the United States. And the stories, all true stories of these people is, first of all, it is so inspiring about prayer, praying to God. There can be compassion, there can be forgiveness, there can be cooperation and a sense of respect for human life. And I want to do everything I can to get a distributor for your film, because your father was in as well as a producer of. So I'm doing everything I can to make that happen, as we well know. And it's a beautifully done film.
E gli imperi si conquistano con le armi, ma si tengono col prestigio. E per il prestigio occorre una chiara, severa coscienza razziale che stabilisca non soltanto delle differenze, ma delle superiorità nettissime. Il problema ebraico è dunque un aspetto di questo fenomeno. L'ebraismo mondiale è stato durante 16 anni, malgrado la nostra politica, un nemico irreconciliabile del fascismo.
Thank you. When we first spoke, I think it was January, friend of a friend thing from Florida, when I told you the story about a concentration camp that saved lives, did you believe me at first, or you thought,
Yes, I
wait a
did.
Okay,
No, I
good.
believed you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's what got you into the story of it and the coming here. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you've never heard of such a thing. I hadn't either.
Well, here's the issue. They don't publicize things like
Yeah. It's forgotten stories, like the forgotten children of the Holocaust.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And your father had a screening for the Vatican, no less, and the Vatican loved this film.
They approved it. They endorsed it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's
So beautiful.
the pandemic set us back about 3, 4 years, so we're sort of starting over. It's been exhausting, and having someone like Linnda can help out a lot, hopefully. But it's definitely a movie that needs to be seen, and I've posted some of the songs my dad wrote. If not, I'll post them again below in the notes. And the story is true. My dad wrote 2 of the songs. The soundtrack is by an Italian composer named Sandro Di Stefano. Wrote a truly magnificent. It's the best Italian soundtrack since The Godfather. It's that
I
simple.
believe he's an Oscar-winning composer and film
He
scorer. Am I right?
he's not Oscar winning in the States, but he's won awards overseas, foreign, like their version of an Academy Award, not official
Okay.
Oscar like we call it here. At least not yet. He may for this movie because the music is superb, but he's won 2 or 3 awards overseas for work done overseas.
Okay.
And I told him this back in 2019 when I called him, and he says, Carmine, you know why the music is so good? No, why? He says to me on the phone, because the Italians know how to make a music. I can't argue with that. That's a true story. True story. Then the pandemic hit, but luckily we're all still around to talk about this. And it's been a long journey. It's exhausting, but we're not giving up. And I think with Linda's help, maybe there'll be some closure to this, what I think is a beautiful story with beautiful music. My dad wrote 2 songs. The songs are called God Guide Us and I Truly Love You. How appropriate. He doesn't sing. My dad cannot sing. The Italian tenor Giuseppe Marone, who's on Facebook, you can check him out. He's Italy's tenor. He's today's Luciano Pavarotti, as you heard. He's just so good. And that's where we're at. Linnda, we need to wrap this up because I haven't had lunch yet. Probably you haven't either. So we're Italian. At least I'm Italian. You're half Italian or half Irish or something?
Half Italian, half Irish.
There we go. So we got to eat. So any final thoughts?
I just want to thank you for a lovely interview. And I am actively pursuing finding a distributor for this film because it's so well made. It's just so well made and it's so full of heart. And it's a true story, and that's what makes it even more fantastic.
When my dad had a private screening back in 2018, 2019, I believe one of the newspaper writers, critics, described it as a movie made with infinite sweetness. And what can I say to that? I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to spoil it anymore. But so this is where we're at. And I also have to give a shout out to our mutual friend, Mitch from Orlando, Florida. Mitch is a chiropractor who's helped you out. And it was him who got us together to connect. So Mitch, thank you. Love you guys, all of you down there. And this is where we're at. So Linnda, thank you again. Always a pleasure. And hopefully we'll have a happy ending to all this and an update sometime in the future. But hopefully we'll get a positive response. And that's it for this Saturday afternoon in hot Ohio and hot Florida.
God bless.
My final word is to my dad, Salvatore Pate, there in Italy. Love you, Dad. Thank you for all the hard work you did to the entire crew. Thank you for sending me all those wonderful love songs during the pandemic lockdown. Love them all. And that one song you wrote, the Oh Hey I'm Screwed song, which is totally out of left field. I'll have that below. That is hilarious if you read the lyrics. It's just to lighten things up after a rough stretch. But thank you, Dad. Thank you, everyone involved in the film. Thank you, Linnda. And we'll catch you sometime later on. So love you, Linnda. Love you all. I'll catch you next time. Okay?
God bless.
God bless.
Thanks. Bye.
Sei bella veramente, sei un angelo del cielo.